much fun to just watch him. Just goes for the craziest jumps, goes for the craziest hops. Just lots and lots of fun. Very, very energetic play in that regards.
Well, crazy jumps, but let's see if GamerLegion get off to a good jump in the pistol round. T-side, of course, will be the way that things start. They do have a fair amount of utility, and smokes over at A, but it's all a distraction. That bomb is still situated in the apartments. They're taking contact, and Tizian and Tabson, they're getting all the kills that they need to, but it's a very vacant B bomb site for GamerLegion to get the plant.
This is like the ideal retake scenario, though. They don't have a kit, so I'll give them that. If Isaac's able to close the distance courtesy of that smoke and maybe get a couple of quick headshots out, there's something to be done here from Era, who's got the P250 as well. But Era's got to be careful about short. They're funneling through 4. No, wait, no, it's 5 players, literally, all coming from short. And Isaac has to do it all, and it's just not possible. Keto and Tabson shut him down, and it's just nothing for GamerLegion coming through. The bomb plant's going to help them, don't get me wrong, but man, that did not go as planned.
Yeah, you were saying ideal retake scenario, but they actually just wanted to fight there on the big side. Nobody bought kits. They were in good positions to actually deal with that A-side assault as a result of that heavy retake or sort of heavy rotation that they made towards that A bomb site. But yeah, they were hoping to get away with a few of those players at the very least. A couple distraction kills, perhaps, whittle down the numbers.
Maybe like a 2v3 or something rather than a full 2v5.
Yeah, that would have felt a little bit more doable instead of just a complete firing squad and a stampede from Big to get off to a pretty good start in the pistol round. Not a single casualty.
All right, Keto's here to show off his movement as well. We don't get x-rays, so we get to really simulate the experience for you guys. That way you can see how hard it is to hit some of these shots. I know it looks easy ever since the M4A1 became a thing, but trust me, guys, it really isn't.
Yeah, I'm loving the A1S seeing regular play. I know we talk about it a lot. We were on opposite sides of the spectrum, but now you have to join me here on the A1S side. Rush into B with these MAC-10s, and they're already whittled down by one number. Gade putting up a 1-for-1 trade, and while Keto does have this long sightline, he drops the bomb, and GamerLegion don't have that further scaling in. It's only that solitary small head of Tabsit, or of IM, that does get dropped.
I'm sorry, but the Discord icon just looks so
Did get a little confused by it. I was like, wait, this guy's looking a little blue.
Just
game's only just started. You can't feel so sad.
Over there, you know, just a cute little thing. You just want to take it up in your hand and cuddle it. Not really. I don't want to do that to a controller. Controllers are dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're for filthy console peasants.
Oh,
also because everyone's got them in their hands. But yeah. GamerLegion, though, have got nothing in their hands but a bunch of cash that they're not looking to spend going the frugal route over here. Big started off pretty hot so far, but I'm actually really looking forward to seeing whether or not we see Surson getting maybe a little bit more active throughout this map, especially considering that this is an opponent who on paper Big should be stomping.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure as to what kind of approach Big are going to come through with, because I think they're going to have that talk amongst yourselves, especially with how they performed at the major. Sometimes grinding to halt on T-sides rounds, sometimes not pushing for some of these initiative plays that I actually think Big were very good at doing on their CT sides. And so do we have somebody that's willing to step up? You know, we've seen some of these aggressive routing decisions from players like Keto already in the second round. I'm hoping that we see a bit of a looser style from them. You know, if they let their hair down a little bit, especially against a GamerLegion, which you are expected to beat if you're this Big clan side, be a good little boost to the confidence meter. Feel like that's something that Big just really needs to get under their belt, because last year around the start of summertime, we were like, oh, Big, #1 team in the world. Yeah. We were really singing their praises, and then kind of just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, it's almost like they're Astralis. Hey, you know what this does give us, though, Michael? This gives us a bit of time to talk about a few of the other teams in the tournament, because we didn't get a chance to address Group B, even though I really wanted to. Group B's got 2 teams that are going to be very spicy. Team Spirit and Fnatic, both are teams I'm looking forward to watching later on in the tournament as well. Spirit, of course, have had recent news that this lineup will not exist any longer as a 5, most likely, unless they are indeed bought up. But actually, even right now in this tournament, they're not playing with Mir on the team. I believe it might be Mir plus one more.
I think it's Mir and Chopper.
Yes, Mir and Chopper on the team. So it's going to be very interesting to see where exactly the Spirit lineup ends up going.
Yeah, and then of course the other 2 teams you don't mention are ENCE and Fours, who ENCE, you know, really surprised a lot of people at the major.
I was going to talk about Fnatic, to be honest, but yeah, you're right. Actually, it's a pretty interesting group all in all.
Yeah. I think all in all, this whole DreamHack Open has a lot of teams that are on the up and on the down simultaneously. So, you know, some of these teams that might have been a little bit outside of the realm of vulnerability before that major had really cycled round, you might have seen a couple of these teams just basically not even showing a candle to them, just being like, oh, hey guys, we're over here, this is going to be a nice little match. No, immediate shutdown. But now we're seeing some of these roster moves and some of these teams showing a bit of instability. Force trying to get back into the limelight themselves within the CIS region, which has been heavily competitive.
Indeed.
This is a great time for some of these up and comers to show what they've got.
And isn't that what DreamHack Open's always been about as well? This is also why I'm just really happy that this is sort of the end. Well, I'm not happy it's the end, but I'm happy at the teams that are showing up for the end of DreamHack Open series as well, because, you know, you look at teams like ENCE, you look at teams like Big, and yeah, okay, those are the top 10 teams, or at least close to top 10, who've had some good performances. Some of them have been poor performances as well. There's Mouse, who no one really knows where they are. Then there's Fnatic, who's trying to come up, and you can see that top 10 potential, but it hasn't truly materialized, and they need a tournament like this to prove it. Then there's Spirit, who you don't really know what's going on with them. Fours, GamerLegion, Mad Lions are sort of the young upstarts. It's really a classical DreamHack Open tournament.
Yeah, it's a lot of potential. This one is filled with potential. I hate that word quite a lot, just because I feel like it's overused, and often not a lot you actually see that potential realized.
Yeah. My middle school teacher told me that I had potential to become a physician.
I feel that sounds oddly specific.
Yeah,
usually
she thought I was going to be really good at physics. I was, but I went into computer science instead.
That's not what a physician is.
Okay, right. See, English is hard, guys. Like a physics person who does a PhD. I don't know. Okay. A researcher, a scientist. It sounds really pretentious to say scientist, to be honest. That's why I stayed away. But hey, GamerLegion, not going to be able to find much out of this round. They were just looking for a couple of frags, and at the very least, Isaac gets one. But really, that's not much to speak of.
Yeah, Big have been getting physical so far, 3-0, and not really taking too many casualties along that route. Now we'll see GamerLegion take that investment, and this is where we're hoping to see that star level power come out from players like IM, player that you're very excited about. I am too.
I am too, actually. But what's a vowel between friends, eh, Michael? GamerLegion not opting for the AWP right now would have really put the economy into a more stressful position, but Era might not need it. Cerson just dominated. Rusty's found another in the meanwhile, only taking a headshot as a trade for that. Very happy with how this round has turned out so far.
Yeah, tried to go for some of these aggressive plays here on the side of Big and go and fight for this mid control, but already getting knocked down a peg as soon as these AKs grace the GamerLegion side.
That shot from Arrow is pretty insane.
Pretty crispy. I think Tabson wants to maybe get his hands on that AWP. They see they're very heavily clustered here on Big, and they vacated B entirely.
I mean, they are getting aggressive to try and find IM, and he should get this first, but Tabson's too aware. He's able to respond quickly, but a knife out in his hands is not going to be a recipe for success, as Arrow was waiting for that very thing. Isaac's got another in the meanwhile. And that just means Keto's going to be trying to save this AWP. We can see a golden man running in the background, so Extra is indeed back. We've gotten out of the simulation. You just get to be a spectator instead.
Sometimes like when the X-ray is not on, to be quite honest. My immersion. I feel like
you really get to feel the desperation of Keto.
Yeah, you also get to fully realize just how difficult some of these fights are.
I'm honestly glad that the shot from Arrow came through without the X-ray, because that was one of those beautiful little quick slide out taps.
Oh, God. He's boxed in too.
Yeah, he can't really actually back off either. Era's found him, the AWP's dropped, and suddenly Big's economy is going to be pretty severely handicapped. They might be able to force around an AWP for Cerson if they'd like to. Keto's got enough for an M4 as well, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's always a risky decision to go for.
Yeah, this is a bit of a rough one. Even with them taking so few deaths in the opening 3 rounds, you can see how fickle that CT side economy is, especially when they do upgrade, I think, away from a couple of those SMGs. GamerLegion, a very impressive start, but one that was very much predicated off of just finding these opening engagements. You know, if not for the fact that Arrow wins his fight, and I think it was Tizian as well that was unable to get anything done in middle for big. You know, there were 2 players there, and still coming up without too much to show for the effort. You could see how quick big were to try and come up with some kind of a response to retake mid control.
Really putting a lot of emphasis on eliminating the lurker, but that's where GamerLegion had actually popped out 2 staggered lurkers instead. You know, once Stabson gets that first kill, he's running knife out over towards the apartments from top mid, not expecting Era to be there as that secondary player either. Now, obviously, small little twists and turns from GamerLegion like that are what are going to end up giving them these advantages on the T side. But I'm glad to see that Arrow's picked up the AWP at the very least, especially considering that Big still do have the potential of threatening a force buy, even if I don't think that that seems to be their intention right now.
Man, I want Gade to get his hands on this DreamHack Open trophy. You know, we had that little opening segment where he was like, "Yes, I was so close to lifting it, and then that crazy lineup destroyed us." Or I guess was it Imperial? Imperial or crazy? Either way, Neil was a part of it, and he stripped Gade away of that a nice little honor. So it would be nice. I think this big clan
he's
side
won a DreamHack Open at one point.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't with that first attendance, I think, is what he was getting at.
Okay. I mean, in all fairness, the DreamHack Opens have been very competitive, especially during the LAN periods. You know, we can't really... This is one of the things about Counter-Strike that people sometimes don't understand when they're from other esports. Our team pool is stupidly competitive. Like, top 15 to top 6, especially, anyone can beat each other. And then even from top 20 onwards, it feels like every team now has at least some sort of 1-star player. So, and so much of that comes from the fact that, you know, our open ecosystem has let so many organizations have legitimate contracts with people. I mean, this is something that Tommy talks about on Twitter, although he says that it's a negative thing sometimes, which I don't necessarily agree with. But the strength of contracts has made it so, you know, super teams and teams with all of the best players at one place aren't necessarily easy to make. So a lot more teams overall have the ability to have, you know, one Super Saiyan player on there who can just Goku out a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to look for, I mean, even as far as the PGL major, right? We had a lot of these teams that were, you wouldn't really see as like major threats or like competition to the circuit, but then we're getting loads of these crazy upset wins. I mean, the circuit has gotten more and more competitive, I guess, as well as you're seeing a little bit of a frailty to maybe this top 10, top 15, and that it is so close. There isn't that massive ravine that there once was in the earlier days.
And in all fairness, part of that is also because of the RMR system and how it really did disincentivize roster moves. But at the same time, it's not to take away from a lot of these teams from the 10 to 25 mark. You know, what Copenhagen Flames, for example, did was ridiculously difficult. Even Entropic getting so close over there. Every year, there's like 2 or 3 young teams that just turn out to be super legit. And I feel like that's never been the case before. There's always been players, but entire teams is pretty insane to think about.
I hope you guys, at least some of you in the chat, have actually been to the major, because I know, of course, with it being in Sweden, guarantee that there were some DreamHack folk sort of moseying around, enjoying it with you.
Man, I wanted to go to the major. It's like
fun.
I'm looking forward to Cologne and whatnot being back next year too, though, because I'm really fingers crossed that things get better and those are also arena events. Because man, I've been to a Cologne once. Oh my God, Michael, it is beautiful.
Yeah, crowds are coming back.
Yeah,
gets you excited for what's in the future, and that's exactly what these guys are trying to sort of aim towards. The further you get through this path to Pro League and, you know, other qualifying tournaments, more and more of those are going to be in person.
And obviously, you know, EPL conference that's coming up soon has got a lot of people from different DreamHack Opens having been won across this past year.
It's a massive regional brawl.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. You know, even teams from Asia coming in. Team Renewal is going to be coming in from there. The Mongolian representation. It's been a while since we've actually had a team from Mongolia coming into an international event to play. Mostly, it's been Chinese teams. I'm looking forward to that. I think people don't really realize that even the Asian Counter-Strike has a lot of different metagames in itself, but we've got to come back to this one, as Big and GamerLegion are still looking to brawl it out, and Big have decided not to go for the force buy. They'd rather buy up in the next round. But given the fact that their lost bonus is sitting on $1,900, they wouldn't mind getting a couple of kills over here just to add maybe a few more grenades and a kit to the economy.
Yeah, help weaken the GamerLegion side as well.
Well, Tizian gets himself one. Zero has to do a double take for Tamsin. Wasn't quite expecting a second player to be there. Keto and Surson not in the best of positions to be able to find much, but Surson's still good for a quick tap. That's not going to be too bad for him, as GamerLegion will find themselves there second without losing too many.
Yeah, even if Zero's really pressed up against his monitor, wasn't quite prepared for that kind of a swing. But those are the two kills that you're kind of looking for there on the side of Big. You didn't go in with too much of an investment, and it still kind of sets up GamerLegion to lose out potentially on one of these gun rounds, and then you have this reset where this T side wouldn't be able to afford up the appropriate weaponry. And we'll see what the approach is and whether the focus still remains the same. Big went for that heavy mid-control setup. They go for it once again. Two men, in fact, a third going into Rendezvous, but GamerLegion is set up for an A exec.
Oh, good multi-timing coming in overhead. Those flashes are going to be completely nulled, and Rusty's already gone down in the meanwhile as well, so they've lost their lurk, and with that, the A exec becomes a lot weaker. Tizian, I don't know how they mollied here. Oh, the Palace player, obviously, never mind. They got very confused for a second.
Yeah, Tizian was a little confused, like, wait, this is on fire? Oh my god. Somebody should have told me. But they look to reset. After the counter utility is deployed there from Big, now they reinvestigate the B side of the map. Bombs dropped outside of the apartments. Especially with them being this man down there, hoping to catch one of these big players potentially in transition, maybe looking for additional information. Again, that's something that Big are very good at doing. When they feel a bit of push on one side, they'll pull on the other.
Well, Keto's going to realize where exactly Isaac's coming in from if he had held his position, but instead won't quite be able to catch a glimpse of that player. He's just moving back and forth, and oh god, this is going to be so rough. Keto could actually just end up being fully blindsided over here, but he turns around at the perfect time, and IM doesn't check the corner. Grenade down as well. Molotov won't matter. All it does is force Keto to use his smoke. Suddenly a 2-on-5, and Big have played this one out pretty damn near to perfection.
Yeah, smooth maneuvers there from Keto. Not only keeping himself alive from that Molotov, but winning out with those respective fights as well. Caught him on a grenade timing, and just Spidey senses tingling for the 180. It does seem like GamerLegion will be able to get away with these weapons. Big aren't too interested in the hunt. And the one casualty, well, they'll just chalk that up to the round win. Keto did his job. Now, I wonder if GamerLegion start to address that main issue. You know, they got the double entry in mid that one round, and it really caused a lot of issues there for Big. They had to try and come up with a solution, and it ended up with them sort of hurtling up together and almost being like this death ball through the mid round. But because GamerLegion depleted some of their resources at the start and then decided to go for something slightly different, it seemed like they almost lacked direction. And now at the start of this one, they've lost Era right off the jump, and that's the Searson AWP coming online.
And this is exactly what I wanted to see, Michael, because Searson, I mentioned before that whenever it's an opponent that you should theoretically be stomping as a quick trade comes out, you want to see the Opera getting more aggressive if it is indeed an aggressive Opera. And Searson might be looking to do that over in mid as well. IM will not be given the privilege of facing off against Searson, though, as Keto just takes him down. GamerLegion now split up across the map at some point or the other. They're going to have to go for this, and given the fact that they won't have a full buy in the next round, I wouldn't hate it if they tried. But with full utility and the AK, the save also makes sense.
Got another one of these saves where you're having to bleed off so much time on the clock. it's not exactly a good one for building the confidence. Knowing that you were shut out before it even got started. These shifting sands, GamerLegion could still try their hand at it. They've recovered the bomb, and Rusty's still probing into B.
Gade's the one who's going to be looking to contest him early in, and Keto's got there with some backup. A flashbang is available as well if Keto wants to start using it. Good Molotov, but Rusty is going to have to face off Keto, and Keto's just too sharp today. Second kill, second time over. Molotov goes out once again. Zero won't really be able to force Gade back, though. There's still that smoke, and Keto's got 3. He's been looking crisp consistently, been able to cordon off that area very effectively so far.
Yeah, it's been between him and tabseN for a lot of this mid fighting, and even with Gade receiving a lot of that pressure, you know, Molly on top of him, still able to keep himself alive for long enough that Keto can just deliver on the frags. And this is where you want more and more of these stars to emerge. You know, Keto sometimes can be a very reliable sort of anchor player, even if he is on these rotations, but if he is being called to do a bit more and be a part of some of these initiative moves here from Big, if he can deliver these numbers, then definitely some good signs.
They're looking for a quick pop in towards that A bomb site, and this is where Big, I mean, they do have Sersen ready at the perfect angle. Flashes won't be blinding him out because of distance, and Tizian's caught another in the meanwhile. I am the casualty, and the Molotov means that they're forced forward. Segregated between Isaac and his team, and Isaac will suffer. Once again, Rusty and Era left alone. A 2-on-5. It seems like this is the story of the game so far.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a trend. It's like 2 players trying to find out what to do next. Bit of a worrying start here for GamerLegion, that's for sure. And Keto, hey, at distance, all too easy. Thank you very much. You bought the Deeg, and now it's my turn, but nothing else. Yeah, this is not looking too hot. You know, we saw a couple of nice little entry rounds. In fact, the 2 rounds that GamerLegion have been able to get so far were all predicated off of the early mid fights that saw a lot of success. And so I wonder whether they go back to that, see if they can punish Big for this mid control. Because the A execution hasn't looked too pretty. They tried a little variation on the pistol round. They tried a couple of gun rounds. One time they canceled, the other time they followed through, and the results all been the same. Oh my goodness, tabseN just runs straight through, and the flash is right on top. tabseN just too crisp for 2. And now GamerLegion, sure, yeah, the idea was there, take control of middle, but they weren't ready for tabseN to make moves like that. There has to be some sort of push elsewhere here for GamerLegion, but it's a bit too slow. Now smoke's over towards the B apartments. They've got 3 in close proximity. Yeah, good news that Isaac didn't push much further, because it almost certainly would have been a death sentence.
And right now, it's all going to be down to Era. If he can find a quick tap on the long-range duel, maybe something to be done, but against the AWP, it's never going to be easy. This mid-control's really not been going their way ever since the double entry, Michael, you're right. And with Big so heavily concentrated on either side, they've got everything they need, but Era's got 1 important frag that should be forcing out some rotations, and that's where they're looking to cut them off through a quick push into jungle.
Now this could be something different. They threaten the backstab. I don't know that Big are really too privy to it. Boost from Keto spots nothing.
I mean, more than that, keep an eye out on Zero as well. They're not expecting someone to come in from Palace at all, especially with that Molotov being used, but Keto's found Isaac. With that, the bomb's been dropped, and Big's got that information. Era from mid needs to find this frag, but Gade is ready for it. Zero, all alone. The hidden Viper that was supposed to be the final one to strike will instead be the final one to fall.
Felt like there was a chance that opened up there for GamerLegion, but you could see the response there from Big. Actually got a little unfortunate on the timings in the mid round. Still able to sweep up all the pieces. We've seen a lot of technical timeouts so far. At what point do GamerLegion pull the pin on a tactical?
I mean, it seems like they desperately need it. Flashbang not going quite right for Rust. Don't blame that too much on him. That happens. But they're going for a faster-paced connector play to go in with a flashbang. Smoke for TopCon will allow them a quick entry into the jungle if they'd like to. But what? I've never seen this before. They're sending 2 players to apartments through connector after having shown mid control to be able to threaten it so that Big can't feel too comfortable stacking in, especially because of the potential of a flank through jungle.
It's all just a distraction for a rush down to B. So Searson's repositioned and the AWP actually missing that shot. They're trying to run him down.
Molotov timing is good though, but it's not going to block them from coming out the window. Rusty's got one and Surson being run down. Surson turns around, but the quick triple means that Tabson has it all to do, and all to do means run away and save those guns if you want to come through with a slightly healthier economy on the other side.
Oh man, they found the perfect timing to do that because Searson was in transition. He gets to the apartments a little late just as they're going for their first little bit of a swing. And once they recognize the AWP is there, it's just literally run him down, boys.
They do get a bit fortunate with the fact that Serson's not quite able to throw his incendiary through the doorway, rather it bounces off the side onto balcony because he was fully blind while he was throwing it. But yeah, you're right. The 2 players down mid, I guess, did sort of work out for them at the end.
The thing is, I don't think Big even really bit down on fighting for that mid control, but it's almost like that response that Big decided to go with was actually accounted for.
I felt like even just with that one extra player having to watch out for a jungle flank seemed to be pretty important. You know, Keto not there to give the supportive flashes, not really there to be able to quickly get the trades as fast as he'd like to.
They did have to hover, and they could never feel too secure and like maybe rotating towards the short position either. So
interesting trap for sure.
A little sign of life here from GamerLegion at the very least. Good way to bounce back into this T side is as a result of winning that force buy. Or I guess the half.
Oh, Taz sent so much damage through the smoke coming in. Man,
that one hurts.
Yeah, a lot. Now I am really would like to see him stepping up. 1 and 9 so far. All of my hype has gone for naught.
Oh god. Seems like Gade really wants to take some control of the apartments. Molotov onto the balcony as well will force him back. And it's a bit of a battle between just the solitary Isaac and him. But to no avail. They give each other a lot of respect in that particular fight. And they're grinding off some time on the clock. They do have a forward position in Palace. So if this A site should fall, they do have another prong to go for this retake. And with the lurk in the connector, it seems like they're kind of primed to pounce just when IM feels confident in the fight.
Oh, they might want to push through the smoke over here, and that's exactly what they're doing. IM has gone right past it, and Surson hasn't realized that yet. They're still being wary of someone being in jungle. That's because they've left the boost open. Isaac's got the first. Isaac could have had 2, but Keto's too fast, and IM's missed his chance as well. GamerLegion, what looked to be an ultimate advantage, ends up turning out against them so far. Surson wouldn't be able to get that shot, though, and that's a big one to be missing out on. Rusty's not aware of
so little time.
Inside Palace. It's Tizian. He has to catch them off, and now that he's dropped them both, the bomb can't be recovered. The round cannot be won, and GamerLegion have got to try and save this off.
They'll be allowed to do that, but they were really hoping to make that one work. You could see as well, they've got a lot of presence of mind to what Big are trying to do, and you can even see that like Gade and Searson are almost trying to force the issue into the B apartments. We saw in the round prior as well when they got rushed down by the techs, they went for deeper control. It doesn't feel like Gade's really confident in that fight, and you can see a lot of hesitation about what timings to take and whether they should push at certain moments or not. And it almost comes back to bite them, but grinding so much time off of the clock, GamerLegion had no room for error, and that's where that forward push in Palace really made the difference. Tizian just bode his time, just waited for his teammate to fall, and knew everything he had to do as soon as he spotted that bomb.
Oh god, that smoke's gonna roll away. That smoke looked like it was going to roll right off.
Yeah, it's a little ledge. He caught it.
Fortunately. Can you imagine, though? You just take a timeout, and because of that timeout... Actually, do grenades roll in timeouts?
They roll during freeze time. I've seen a clip of somebody dropping a smoke on Vertigo during the freeze time, and it just rolls off the map.
Okay, something to consider when you're dropping. What direction are you sending them in? Because Kidos and I am straight down under. Soon to join him, though.
Deeper connector smoke there for Tabson just to threaten the idea. Maybe he peeks around it. Rusty is round the other side, though.
Also just a very annoying one way to deal up against as well. Tabson can't quite utilize it yet. Era does crouch out of danger zone.
And not even sure if he spotted him. Might have just even been the pre-fire, but some warning shots.
Of course, he's used a lot of that utility. He only has a flashbang in him, and Tizian's nowhere nearby to support, so he's relying purely on his own shoulders to carry him through, and Rusty will feel the brunt of those.
But I mean, just look at the free space that Big are able to get every round. If Tizian can just keep pushing into the Palace like this, then they'll always have to worry about some of these forward positions on the A bomb site. And until Tizian gets spotted in this position in an early moment, I imagine they just keep going for it. And GamerLegion are still trickling in and losing numbers.
And it's also something where you can see earlier on, Surson was putting a lot of emphasis on getting a quick peek out for himself. After that, GamerLegion has not been looking to contest at all, perhaps because of that early opping presence that was shown. Isaac, though, he knows where Tabson is. This should be a free one, and indeed it is. So back to 2-on-3, but with 20 seconds, they've got to move quick, and Surson's going to disallow them from going up connector. Isaac has to try and take them through jungle instead. Flashbang won't really matter. 8 seconds, and there just isn't time to be able to get on. Tizian's ready for it, and he's got two. And Michael, just to go back to your point earlier on, you know, this is a little bit strange as well, because GamerLegion, we saw them when they were trying to go for that quick A hit on their first gun round, and Big was able to get the first kill. They were heavily prioritizing holding on to Palace. They were fine with letting Zero stay there once their first player had gone down. That was Rusty. And ever since those kills from Surson came through, they've just been giving it up every time.
Yeah, this is like a massive punish from Big. And a weird adaptation from GamerLegion, because they haven't been defaulting. They haven't been playing out the way that they had these earlier rounds. And maybe that's something that can be read into. Of course, we don't know some of the prep work that goes in sometimes as well. You'll see teams that, when they're in deficits, can fall into some of these tendencies. So maybe this is where they're calling more set pieces and falling away from these default setups a bit more. Can see that Big have put in some work, though. Getting Gate in some of these more anchoring positions.
Oh, these grenades, and Surson's going to be able to get a kill regardless of them. They thought that with that much utility expended, they should be safe, but not against Surson, man. He's been having a heater of a game.
Oh, God.
Ooh,
looked like a sitter for Keto. He was prepped for the little jump up, but I am too quick. The nade does finish him off, though, and Zero finds a perfect timing. 1 for 1. Not exactly what he was hoping for, though, but still competitive here for GamerLegion.
Oh, what?
Nade goes a little too deep, and that bomb is still very separate, but now it's just a 1-on-3. Era is so detached from the action. He's not even going back for the bomb just yet because there's still so much time on the clock, and he's tapped one out of existence.
That's very important over here, because now Gate is not doing too hot either. He's quite low on HP, but he's got a lot of utility, so if he wants to start buying time, that's always going to be an option. Era, I mean, he's got time to work with, but does he really? When Gade's sitting at that off angle, will close him out there, and then GamerLegion have let Big get double digits on their own map pick. I'm feeling kind of silly about predicting GamerLegion.
Yeah, just shows. I was right, you were wrong the whole time.
Indeed, that's what this broadcast is all about.
More than one winner. We might have winners on the casting desk, too. But yeah, GamerLegion have looked a little lost, I think it's fair to say, in a few of these rounds, especially when they're losing these opening man advantages. Even from that 1-on-3, like some of the headspace feels a little bit disconnected almost. Like after Isaac got that little, or Era got that little tapper, felt like he should have gone back for that bomb, but I'm going to tell him how to play.
You know, Michael, IM looks kind of like Robert Pattinson. Kind of cool. He's going to be Batman. Gate, though, is going to be facing off against Tech9's, rushing him down, and Keto's nowhere around to be able to give support with that secondary arm. Grenade is going to be nicely placed, going to be pretty chunky. Rusty finding that out firsthand. Tevson, though, he's been coming through with a quick shooting gallery. 2 fast frags.
Late look from Era.
Ooh, that's going to be big if he can find it, but Tizian, he shuts him down instead.
Being real hesitant about their approach here, trying to get catwalk control, and Isaac does have that primed in his sights, has to be quick with these.
Oh, Zero is able to find Keto in the meanwhile. Now, there isn't a gun upgrade nearby for him to pick up for himself, so now that they're going for this defuse, he's got to start spraying it out. Oh, he'll be able to get the location, nice. And he should be able to stop them. Indeed, Surson jumping straight past is going to go down with the bomb, but GamerLegion still get one of their few rounds off of another Tech-9 rush through apartments.
Yeah, they didn't feel that confident about the retake there from Big. They had market control firmly in their grasp. Tabson was firing off a lot of pressure from short as well, but then they just reset after that lurk is found out. Felt like they wanted to reinforce that position, but just grinding off too much time on the clock. And yeah, this B bomb site, a bit of a susceptibility to these faster plays, and you wouldn't be too surprised to see if GamerLegion try to do the same on these rifles, because that's what's been working so far.
Oh, and this comes out big. Damage from him onto Tamsin, but unfortunately Tamsin can just reface in. Shoot him down from behind the smoke gate. Has to be careful. He spotted them out. Now backing off. Quick flashbang in to delay for a while longer, but they're still going for the rush, and Tamsin's here to intercept. Second kill for him, and that's all he needed to do. Gate still on the site, and he's ready to deliver, but might not need to. As Surson keeps hitting those shots. Bombs even drop outside of the apartments, and that's going to be 11th for Big secured. We're going to have to go to a break, and when we're back, maybe GamerLegion can make a comeback as well.
Shake the ground. Oh, it's like it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. Oh, let the future escape. Burning dreams take me back to you. In the night when I heard you
2 half-by wins generally give you a better looking half than that, but GamerLegion are going to have to try and bring it back from 4. Big, though, starting off hot.
Yeah, I think that's certainly one way to put it. I almost feel like GamerLegion didn't really test them the same way that you would kind of expect, especially with them kind of being a squad on the rise. We'll see how they do on the CT side. But Big, they've gone out the big guns. Keto, Dualies are out. Rusty's already investigating underpass and does actually spot out Gate.
No.
That's the bomb dropped as well.
That's IM getting the first, and that's going to be him now immediately retreating back. Keto's going to come down versus 3. Not prepared, and Tabson isn't either. Rusty with a quick double will get full mid control and information on the bomb. Oh my god, what more could you want?
Isaac not getting cleared. That's another great spell here, but doesn't hit the shots. Tizian's able to find the frag. Searson was the one doing 180s, but it's a 2-on-4. That's very competitive. They're all so low.
IM's going to be the first one to take contact. Saracen with the Glock and ready to take both away quickly. That second shot isn't enough. IM is able to back off, and Saracen, man, just trying to get that jumping accuracy boosted up, and Rusty's already gone. With him, Zero has joined him, and IM is worried. Guys, I started this off. I started it off. Why can't you just give it to me? And they've thrown away a 2 versus 5. Oh no.
Oh man. And it felt like it was in their palm of their hands. Big not clearing all their angles on that B bomb site. Isaac had that massive chance. But yeah, all that damage coming to fruition in the late round, and Tizian just continuing to find heads after the fact. That's a round the GamerLegion will want to forget. It was almost comical as well. I am just like on top of the ladder. It felt like I was watching a cartoon where the cat's trying to dodge the water.
What a heartbreaking way to lose that one as well. Now they're hoping to pull something through with the Deagles. In all fairness, they have had a lot of half-buy victories so far. And a lot of them have come down from having 4 players on a bomb site as well, technically speaking. So maybe this is going to be their recipe for success. And Zero's found the first with the 5-7s already after a good start. Flashbang is solid. It'll allow him to go back up without Keto seeing him. Keto's going to be smoked off, but Tabson just pushes through. Keto's got another as well, and it's back to an advantage for Big.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're going to fall into the same issues. These Deags need to find these sight lines, and these smokes are making it a little bit more difficult. Rusty's cheating past, but fully blinded. Doesn't matter if they don't clear him. Rusty does get one, but Gade does find the trade. And now it's Isaac, a 1-on-3 where he's found a quick headshot. Now they have to really consider about how they get this bomb down.
Oh, Isaac. Come on, you've got to pull this one through over here, but missing out shots like it's a pistol round. And he just can't get it done. Big, once again, losing out a player early on. It was a great flashbang to force Keto back so that there wasn't going to be visibility on Zero either, but Zero actually going back down underneath the scaffolding of the palace meant that he was going to be caught off by Keto through that smoke, so not really able to do too much with it.
Yeah, it almost felt like Big were going to fall victim to it once again until Keto got that kill through the smoke. Well, now with even less invested, now they've gone for an actual stack. They had a kind of a hovering player in middle last time over, but now the B-bomb site has been vacated, and Big are actually being very quick-footed about their journey towards this B-bomb site.
Indeed.
They saw the open vacancy sign, decided they would take them up on the offer.
Well, Saracen, he's smelling money, Michael. Unfortunately, money comes with paper cuts, and enough of them make you bleed to death.
Is that what rich is like?
That's why, you know, your sanity goes away first, and then you start to really lose sight of yourselves. And yeah, it's just 1,000 paper cuts to the point where you don't have a soul left.
You went for like full-on emotional trauma.
I was talking more about, you know, the process of losing your soul. I'm thinking on a philosophical level.
It isn't about material things.
Indeed.
They would like to get their hands on guns.
Yeah, but unfortunately for him, he is one without material things.
Or life, for that matter. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. It has been a bit of a trying time here for GamerLegion. This is their pick in the series as well, so
Yeah.
I'd like to be optimistic, but at the moment, Big are just kind of outclassing them. You know, a lot of these, the star element from Tabson, sure, that came to the forefront, but it was really, I mean, players like Keto and Tizian that were kind of stealing the limelight. Sure, Searson and Tabson were kind of contributing along the way and they actually have the most amount of kills, but Keto and Tizian were the ones kind of teeing everything up.
Yeah, I mean, Tizian's 14 and 4, which coincidentally is the same as a round score, and Zero is dead. Sorry, buddy. Era is at least able to find Tabson, and Keto was dodging out a flash that never came, so Era and IM are actually good for a few. Rusty, another added, and Era spots out a leg. That leg hasn't spotted him either, if I'm not wrong. Tizian
bit of
is going to be adjusted for. Era is ready for it, and the Molotov will stop Surson, but in fact, it spurs him on instead. Goes straight into, he's won the first, knows that there's a second coming through, spots out the barrel, and it's going to be a quick kill that he needs to find before Rusty comes in from behind. Surson all alone, catches him out, and it's only Rusty whose position is known. Molotov there as well, pops it out for the bomb, and with this Big, will steal away another opportunity. Rusty still cannot start to defuse, and he has to run him down instead. No kit means that Surson, God, he just pulled it out. The 1v3, man.
Yeah, pushing in front of that Molotov is a madman maneuver. And he even got caught by the flash. He got the kill he needed to and then full blinded, but they had no idea that that was the case. Just holds his nerve and separated GamerLegion from that kit as well to get onto that bomb. Very, very well done there from Searson, and shows off some of that great decision making that really propelled him to the top of the circuit last year over. Man, just made that look all too easy, and GamerLegion, as soon as they thought they had potentially pulled another round out the hat, now one step closer to losing out their map pick.
Oh no, Zero's been spotted out as well with this. Going to be a lot more pressure, but i6 taking the time to find Gade. Era as well with one down mid. They're really using the pressure that Zero's put out perfectly. Tabson now caught out as well, and suddenly, what could be a clean sweep coming out from GamerLegion? Wow.
Yeah, not a single death. And all their bouts of aggression actually working out. You know, they got their kills from Underpass. They're actually able to push further into the B side of the map as well, and really just completely denied Big from getting anything accomplished. But it feels like the damage has already been done. Like, you're already at 15 there for Big, so you can even afford to be a bit experimental in some instances, but they can be patient about how they approach this as well. No urgency. So it's just the Eagles. Nice, serene, calming sounds, and that's a nice little head splatter from IM.
Indeed it is. Now IM comes through with another one. Big, at the very least, will not be able to get away with their sins of winning out 1v3s without having a pretty big economical hit. That's one of the nice things about it being early on in the half, Michael. Even if it looks like it's late game, you can still reset your opponent's economy. Oh, crispy.
Yeah, they're not even getting real chances to shoot back. Just how you like it here for GamerLegion. Is this their second wind back into this game? It's looking like some confident peaks, strong fights, but now they'll have to do it up against the rifles as well, and they cannot afford to let anything slip by. No flanks, no trespassing, no funky strategies from Big. Again, I was like I was talking about earlier, they can actually just afford to be pretty patient about how they approach this one. Maybe if they want to go for some rush plays to really test this GamerLegion side. And they've gone for some of this mid control, and it's only Tabson that's going for it. Big are actually moving in on a two-pronged assault, and Zero does get the first, but it's a little bit labored down towards that ladder. Maybe a few more pounds than he'd realized in the summer. And Zero still holding in towards Underbout, but he's losing teammates left and right. Finally springing to action and drops the bomb. It's a 2-on-3, and Tabson's still on that lurk, so Searson has to do most of the heavy work.
I think Keto forgot about there being a player under Palace. That's what it looked like for a second. Despite Tizian finding himself those kills, ends up not quite working out the same way they liked it. Tabson, though, needs to start striking in. He misses his chance, and Isaac's found him as well. GamerLegion's aggressive maneuvers are just not being countered out by Big at all.
Yeah, and it feels like they missed out on their best shot at this round. You know, one player under Balk, basically no help coming for him, and they're kind of unable to scale onto him fast enough. I think the Molotov as well for under Balk missed, so...
Yeah. It
really
also looked like they were just worried about another player being in the CT, which was why they were trying to move past Sandwich that quickly. Or just wanting to maybe not contest the Under Palace player, which is always going to be a very dicey decision to go for.
But they're also just trying to sort of contact in towards that A site, and so they had to be worried about that crossfire potentially from jungle or the connectors. So a little bit flummoxed. That one bit of missed utility does really come back to bite them. And GamerLegion do get away with another round. Searson does keep his hands on the AWP. It's still a long journey for recovery here from GamerLegion. And we have seen, like, the meta has shifted, and there's no denying that, alongside the grenade dropping, but also the A1S receiving its buff. It has resulted in CT side win rates increasing pretty dramatically across the map pool. But even still, like, this does feel like too hard or too steep a mountain to climb.
Very early Molotov for the back of baskets coming through. Slightly surprised about that one, given the fact that you've got Rusty getting aggressive in the meanwhile. Nade straight down under as well. Won't be doing too much to Dabson, but at this point, it's all about making sure that Searson can't find opportunities because, well, I saw what he did in that 1v3.
See if they can create some distance, create some space for him to operate.
9-6 over here, trying to make sure that they can't end up getting the same rounds that Gamerlegion were given on the half buys. 9-6 to try and keep them away for now. Spray transfer is not good enough, and Gade's got another. Suddenly, it's a 2-on-3, and Searson, like I said before, might be given those opportunities of a hair. Era's going to be peeked into very soon. Gade has managed to bait him out so that it's back to a 1-on-2 yet again. Searson, this time going for the full 4K. Here's the player coming out, but he misses a shot. Unlikely to see that happening, but he's moved through with the smoke behind him. He needs the smoke to be a little bit more covering of his body. Doesn't quite go where he thought it would. And because of that, Zero's able to quickly gun him down. He was so confused between which angle to keep an eye out for that just couldn't really reset his aim.
God, I thought we were going to see Searson pull off another 1v3. You know, he missed his first shot and like a ninja tried to deploy a smoke bomb and escape.
Yeah. Poof.
It would have been very impressive if he somehow pulled it off, but yeah, shot's not landing.
The smoke also didn't quite clip the corner the way he was hoping it would. That's a slightly curved one.
Yeah, it gave him a little bit of separation at the very least.
If he gives him full separation, that's a different game right there.
Well, GamerLegion have gone for a 3B approach, wanted to go for that fast boost on B. Has left this A bomb site a little vulnerable, and Molotov's already towards under Balk, a different angle being held by Zero.
And Zero's been so good on the A-bomb side. This time he's good for 2 all over again. Keto, sure he's struck in, but he's revealed his position, and Rusty in his retreat is just waiting for IM, who's caught out in through the smoke. Gade brings him down, picks up the Tech 9, and with the bomb planted, they've got a few flashes as well to continue delaying out any sort of aggression. Those CT smokes dissipating means flashbang will be going through. Keto to peek to make sure no one's actually trailing in, and Searson's been given the time to go for the full rotate as well. Era's got the AWP. Does seem slightly wary of it with a Molotov down to connector, but that's Keto being caught out. Rusty pushing forward. Grenade straight deep in. Gade's not feeling too much damage off the back of it. Peeks out, and Rusty's found him. Searson's gone as well.
Yeah, great presence of mind from all of these GamerLegion players here on the retake. Not only using their utility, but also kind of reading into some of these tactics that Big are trying to employ. They use all of their flashbangs in that post plant to try and buy more and more time for Searson to come in for that flank. But GamerLegion are privy to it. Don't fall victim to these late peaks. And Big are actually struggling to bring this over the finish line. GamerLegion's defenses seem a little bit too hard to crack, and especially if they're getting multi-kills out of some of these anchor players, GamerLegion could feel a little safer leaving these guys alone.
Oh, this aggression coming through again. Rusty to lead the charge. He's found one and a dink on the second as well. More than his job done, especially when Era's there to finish off what he started. tabseN not feeling too happy about his HP either in the meanwhile, and it's a 3-on-3, but with Zero having been this dominant on the A bomb side, with Isaac also coming to support in, this isn't looking too good for Big.
Yeah, trying to scale in, and while they do have ramp firmly under GamerLegion control, might have to wait for the retake, and now even holding for this. Zero, oh no, they gave up the angle. They even went back for the plan, and so Zero gets both kills just as they really thought it was clear. It was a delayed peak. He held his nerve for that 1 extra second, and Big did not account for it. GamerLegion up to double digits, and it forces the Big tactical.
And that's the first coming through from them. Michael, I've got to say, Zero as an anchor on the A bomb side has looked really damn good right now. I mean, was a little bit underwhelmed by his performance on the T side, but in all fairness, all of GamerLegion didn't really perform on the T side. Now that we've come over here on CT, he's been getting aggressive where he needs to. He's been knowing how to shift up his position as sandwich, which is such a tricky spot to play as well whenever he needs to. Then getting aggressive into A main, the delayed peak coming in, giving time to his teammates, using his utility perfectly. This guy's doing it all.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of the same punishment that Big were able to employ on their CT side kind of bear through. You know, Big are kind of vacating a lot of this A side presence, and so we saw Tizian do it on his CT side. Zero's taking up some of that same responsibility. Both teams really suffering on this offensive portion.
These flashes just keep coming through. Era's not being given anything, but he still wants to hold the position. tabseN can't believe it. He's saying, we used 1 million flashes there. Why are you still waiting? But at least his teammates have found 2 kills. IM trying to make sure he's got a bit longer to live. A flashbang over it as well will buy him a quick duel to perhaps take straight down to Under Palace. That's Gade gone. Rotation coming in the meanwhile. Isaac has come in for the support. Flashbang is going to give IM a place to retreat. And it's Rusty coming in from behind.
Oh god, the forward position from Tizian could be absolutely everything though. Molotov onto top of CSGO, but he has a smoke to counteract it, and Tizian holds all the cards. This is a freebie. I am not looking the right way, and Rusty and Isaac are too far away from one another.
Oh, he's going to reveal his position if he chucks out that smoke. Molotov straight over to the Palace, but the time's ticking away. Keto's gone. That's Tizian to be caught out. Rusty just has to keep him away while the defuse is happening. GamerLegion get the 11th. Big looked like they were in position, but the second, that second nade finds CSGO, Keto had to activate. He waits too long and he's caught out from under Palace, gets taken down, and Tizian is just locked out of the bomb site.
We even see it on the player cams. Like they're feeling good about themselves. Real big smile across their faces as they go for that, because it may have felt like it was too far gone themselves. I thought they were too far away from that bomb and couldn't really link up with one another, but then that nade kill came through and that really turned the tide.
I mean, even IM staying alive for that long is insane. They used 2 Molotovs for jungle. He's able to back off with 1 flash and gets a kill all in the middle of it while making Tizian reveal his position, even if he goes down there. That is impeccable.
No flank is being attempted here from tabseN, and a lot of pressure over towards B. They know what's up. They know it's coming, but whether or not they can stop it from actually facilitating something over at B is a different story. tabseN's got the kill he needs to, and now they're trying to trickle in. Rusty out in the middle of nowhere, and they're finding trades left and right. This bomb cannot go down safely, but tabseN's got his hands on an AK only for a moment. GamerLegion, just even when things are picking up the pace there from Big, they're trying to go for some of these faster plays, exploit the rotation timings. It doesn't work. So many times Big have broken into sites, and GamerLegion just keep on answering back. They're within 3.
God, this is getting scary if you're Big.
I thought this game was kind of shaping up to be over, at least this map.
Yeah, it was 14-4. And now we're sitting at a 15-12 scoreline. No, Big was not expecting this at all. And, you know, a lot of that comes down to CSGO having cooled off a fair bit on the T side as well. tabseN, though, at the very least, will find Zero. Though actually, in all fairness, I'm not going to say on the T side, Sursen's had a couple of great rounds, but in the past few rounds, rather, not finding too much. Rusty. Forced backwards, but Era is the one to find the kill. Sursen, oh no, Era cut off in the middle, and it's Sursen through the wall. Traces out his head and brings him down.
God, Sursen does like going for that wall bang as well. Knows the lineup rather well. Could actually cast the bomb in transition. That push from Isaac could actually come in at the right time. It feels like they missed the opportunity, though. Isaac at least knows that they're rotating towards A, but it's a 2-on-4, and they need to find some way to get some level of effectiveness from this flank, and it's all about whether Big anticipated or not.
Single flashbang chucked over will at least give them a little bit of a distraction for Isaac to come in from behind. This could be massive. He's found the space. He's found the timing. He's found the frags. A 1-on-2 for Rusty to try and save. He won't be aware of the player who's backed off into A main. Instead, he'll have to contend. Rather, he will be aware of that without flash being used. He has to contend with the long-range duel. Straight nade down under as well. Too many angles to deal with. All Big have to do is wait for the defuse. Good damage onto Rusty, but he's not down yet. Flashbang as well. He's being forced back. There's no chance for him. Second player getting ready to activate. He's trying to stick it, but he just can't get it done. And Big will thread the needle